Hi, today I have a book with me called How to AI by Christopher Mims. Now, Christopher Mims is a columnist who writes for Wall Street Journal, and I think he also has a podcast by the name of Bold Names. And he's come up with this book called How to AI. And the first thing you'll see on this book is a review given by Scott Galloway. He says the antidote to AI panic. Read it and you'll breathe easier. So, for the last 3 to 4 years, everyone is talking about AI. Everyone wants to know about AI. There are people who are actually using and working with AI. And then there are also people who have no clue about AI but want to learn about it. So, although the last 3 4 years I've seen a big boom in the field or the domain of AI, uh, this is not as recent as 2 or 3 years, but people have been working and contributing to the field of AI for almost last 20 to 25 years. However, it's picked up speed recently. So here we are with the book called How to AI by Christopher Mims. And I also happened to see one of his interview, and I think I'll try and put the link in the description. Now, this book, I think, is for people who are thinking of learning AI. They are pretty new to this entire world of AI. Um, I'm sure they are not behind. For those of us who are thinking of doing that, they are definitely not behind because although it has kind of gained a lot of attention in the last 2 to 3 years, it's just 2 to 3 years. So you can, those of us who want to start fresh, who don't have who are not technically that sound, can definitely pick up this book. The way this book flows is just beautiful. um, if Christopher Mims was to write a textbook for adults, I think this would be it. A lot of us who are now out of college and schools, and I want to learn about a particular subject, now let's say AI for that matter, and kind of want to read but don't want to be taught but still want to know the terms, this is exactly the book for us. The book just flows. And the way this book is designed is that Christopher Mims, at the end of every chapter, he has he's literally put a page that talks about the terms he has used. So like you'll see over here the terms that he has kind of tried to explain in that chapter, and then it is followed by another page which is like the summary of the entire chapter. And he has kind of followed the same pattern. He's put it under three sections. One is what to know, second is how to think about it, and third is what questions to ask. So it beautifully just not summarizes the chapter, but it also uh, kind of prods you to think about it in a certain way. So kind of like a textbook for, but for adults, is how this entire book is designed. Now there are 4 to 5 basic things that you will accomplish at the end of reading this 200-page book. I did forget to talk about the year it was published. This is published in the year of 2026, so it's pretty new. Some 200 pages. There are 5 things, according to me, that you're going to learn at the end of this book. First is the terms and verbiage. Everything that you're supposed to kind of be well versed with and kind of know when it comes to the world of AI, by the end of this book, you'll kind of learn about all those terms. So it could be anything. I almost ended up taking notes. So it could be something like a generative AI, it could be something like agentic AI, chatbots, semantic search, image generator, generative fill, um, surrogate models. All of these terms um, anchoring effect, scaffolding effect, hallucination, multimodal effect. All of these things that once you kind of read this, you will kind of see it making an appearance in every AI related topic, article, subject that you end up reading at different places. It could be on the internet, it could be in the papers, it could be in some other book that you'll follow up after this. So it gives you a good baseline when it comes to the terms and verbiage that you are supposed to kind of pick up in for the world of AI. Then the next thing that you'll kind of get yourself well versed with is the who's who of the industry. So not limited to Sam Altman or Demis Hassabis, but going up to Rick Stevenson, all the people who have kind of made an impact or have been working in the field of AI or are currently working in the field of AI, you'll see their names pop up here and there throughout the book. So you'll kind of also get well versed with those names and their contribution to the field of AI. He's also kind of went ahead to give some names about the companies and people who are working in the field of robotics and robotics and AI combination. Um, he has spent a good amount of time in talking about how AI has made an impact to different industries, start right from law to medicine to construction to content writing to advertising to you name it. And I think he's pretty much ended up covering um, all the industries, including a little mention on the IT and coding world. One of the examples that he spoke about was about Clorox, and I think it's somewhere in the hundreds, and we'll talk about it later. How Clorox as a company used AI to do the advertising, what do the advertising, do forecasting, and what are the results that they got. Also, how they used AI to do discovery, and how they came up with the concept of time bomb for if I'm not wrong, time bomb is the concept. Yeah, toilet bomb, sorry. Toilet bomb. How they came up with that as a concept and kind of launched it in the market within 3 months period. Gained absolute success, and all of this was done by AI. So it's a beautiful read, the Clorox example. uh, he has also spoken about the field of construction, how construction and manufacturing are two such fields which have not really caught up with AI. They are still somewhere lingering in the digital transformation age. They could make good use of AI because they are struggling with their pre-construction problems, with blueprints and bidding and stuff like that. How they could use AI, but they are not able to. So that's an interesting read uh, for people like us who think that AI can contribute in literally every field, and possibly everyone is trying to make use of AI. There could be a field that is not really making use of AI. So the third thing that I'll say that this book talks a lot about is how AI has made contribution to different fields. Then the fourth thing is examples, history, stories, viewpoints, kind of small snippet from the kind of interviews that he's taken with people, because obviously in writing this entire book he's spoken with a lot of people from different fields and tried to gain their insights. So those snippets, history about those fields, stories used, plenty of examples. They're just absolutely interesting. It'll keep you hooked for all the 200 pages. um, and the last thing, the fifth thing that I think is a major takeaway is names of the companies, the applications they are working on. It could be XAI's Grok, or it could be DeepMind, or it can be Amazon's Nova, or Meta's Mistral, or OpenAI's ChatGPT or Anthropic's cloud, whatever companies and their products, their applications. I kind of also made a note of some of the applications like Whisper by OpenAI, something like Otter, something like Pouncer AI, um, Orbi or Firmus. Some of these that are from different uh, fields. These are the applications developed, AI applications developed for different fields, like for law, real estate, business planning, invoice generation, content writing, etc., etc. So, plenty of such names that you'll get well versed with. Um, Now, the thing that I would want to read in this book is the 24 laws that he has given, the 24 laws of AI. It's worth giving 1 minute of our time to just going through all the 24 laws. The laws are self explanatory. Even if we kind of remember these 24 laws, it will develop a good baseline for us to go ahead and read more on AI. So, the 24 laws of AI, they are written over here on the first page, and let's just read them. The first law of AI is an assistant, not a replacement. The most fundamental thing that he started with and also kind of ended the book with: AI as an assistant and not as a replacement. He strongly believes that human supervision is required and will be required at every point. So, AI is an assistant, not a replacement. The second one, experts benefit most from AI. Third, AI is a feature, not a product. Fourth, to get the most out of AI, it's essential to make it your own. Fifth law of AI, artificial intelligence isn't actually intelligent, but understanding how it works can unlock its power. The sixth law of AI, don't trust it, always verify its work. So important. I think we have all had our experience with ChatGPT. The seventh law of AI, scaffolding is everything. The eighth law of AI, give it your least favorite things to do. Ninth, context is king. 10th, garbage in, garbage out. 11th law, generative AI enables non coders to build useful software that once required a programmer. 12th law, AI makes unstructured data both accessible and useful in unprecedented ways. 13th law, AI can create photorealistic images, video, and audio so convincing that they are rapidly infiltrating the media we consume without our knowing it. The 14th law, generative AI enables previously unprecedented levels of personalization. 15th law, classic AI is far more important for the operation of our world than generative AI. 16th law of AI, classic predictive AI is brittle and breaks when big changes occur. Very beautifully explained concept. The 17th law of AI isn't creative but can help you be. 18th law, AI can't create finished products, but it's great at quickly generating digital prototypes. 19th law, treat AI agents as robots on an assembly line rather than as assistants. 20th law, when successfully implemented, AI scales up rote knowledge work. 21st law, data is new rare earths. 22nd, simulation is the new AI frontier. 23rd, the most powerful AIs for advancing the frontiers of human knowledge can help us move faster. But they cannot replace experimentation in the real world. This chapter is a must read. 24th law of AI, the field of human endeavor most transformed by generative AI is coding. These are the 24 laws. Just remembering these 24 laws kind of gives you a peek into the world of AI, kind of explains you how so far things have worked out to be. So these are the laws. Some of my favorite things from this entire book, some of the concepts that I enjoyed personally reading, there is some part that is dedicated to the concept called scaffolding. So it's a must read because I think it will keep occurring at several other places. Bag of heuristics, hallucination, At one place, there is a very beautiful line wherein he said, intelligence is too cheap to meter, uh, and he has explained it. Human intervention is always required. He's focused a lot on that. He's spoken about how AI would nearly become invisible and will be kind of built into things. So there is some talk about it. Specificity and context are essential for AI. Then classic AI, it is a must read to read that, because we kind of are the people who are more well versed with chat gpt, and we think chat gpt is AI, but he speaks a lot about classic AI, which is the non chat gpt of the world, and how it contributes to the field of AI. Then Givon's paradox, RAG, then evolutionary scale, surrogate model. These are some of the things that I enjoyed reading. Lastly, what I want to do is I want to go through the book, go through all my bookmarks, read some of the passages that I felt were interesting, some lines that have stayed with me, or just point you in a direction, trying to tell you what are the parts from the book which are very interesting. So obviously the first one, my first bookmark is for the 24 laws. My second bookmark comes at a page here, that is page 47, for scaffolding, to read about that. My third bookmark comes at a page 79. This is the history part. Like I said, he's spoken about, he's given the history nuggets, the biggest breakthroughs in AI of the past 100 years and what each of them enabled. So the AI journey, which started in 1936, the mathematician and World War II era breaker of German codes, Alan Turing, publishes a paper that becomes the basis of modern electronic computers. He thinks that is the start point, and goes on to explain 2012 neural networks, AlexNet, AlphaGo of 2016-2017's article, The Attention is All You Need, going to 2021 Copilot, 2022-2024, and December 2024, the first deep research tool, Google Gemini deep research debuts. So the timeline over here. My next bookmark comes on page 107, and this is the classic AI. This is the para that I think that's one of my favorites. One of the challenges of talking about AI is that people have very different definitions of it depending on their history with it. For people whose first direct encounter with AI is ChatGPT, AI equals generative AI. This is a problem because generative AI, as big as it has become and as rapidly as it is evolving, is actually a tiny speck in the vast ocean of techniques that qualify as AI. And has gone ahead to talk about classic AI. My next bookmark comes on the page of 121. Talks about the concept of integrated business planning, and he's explained that this is a classic example. It is a good example of classic AI. So the IBP, or integrated business planning. My next comes on page 131. The Clorox toilet bomb. Sorry for saying it time bomb the first time. The toilet bomb example. Worth a read. Then my next bookmark comes on the page 165. Two important concepts over here. One is the technology adoption life cycle. Talks about the early adopters and the people who kind of adopt later when it comes to a new technology introduced in the market. And the second thing is about technological revolutions. So he's kind of explained that as well. So two things that one should read. It's an important thing to read. Then my next bookmark comes on the page of 175. This one is talking about the concept of RAG. So that's a must read. It's the retrieval augmented generation. This is something that will keep kind of coming back and forth in most of the things that you'll read related to AI. So RAG, the concept of RAG. um then um this would be, yes, my next bookmark would come on the page 176. The future of robotics is important for the future of the kinds of AIs discussed throughout this book, because solving the problems of making AIs function in the real world, making them animate a physical body, requires making them better at understanding our world. It seems likely at this point that in the same way attempting to go to the moon led to all sorts of new scientific and technical breakthroughs in the related realms, setting ourselves this task will mean creating AIs that do things that are impossible for the current generation of them. So just making robots, making AI better at understanding our world. That was an interesting point of view. And I think my last bookmark comes on the page 188 again for um, humanoids and RAG, that is retrieval augmented generation, just explaining those two concepts. He's ended the book by saying that, like all previous forms of automation, AI is a tool. In it, it can ease our burdens and increase our productivity, and it may help us achieve new breakthroughs in the areas where we'll need them most in the 21st century, from energy and medicine to robotics and national security. But it's a tool nonetheless. That's the right way to end it. And this is the book, How to AI for You. It's a really good read. In case you have not read any other AI books up till now, there are several that are written by different authors, and the complexity of those books kind of depends on the author and where they come from and how many years they have dedicated to AI. Some of those books are pretty difficult to read, but for any person who wants to start their journey with AI, at least get themselves well versed with some of these concepts, verbiage, names, I think How to AI is like the quintessential textbook for adults who want to learn how to AI. So definitely give this a read. How to AI by Christopher Mims. Thank you.